Life hacks aren't all fun and games, as you will learn in this edition of our Hacking Thursdays mini-series. We're joined by Joseph Riegel, an associate professor of communication studies at Northeastern University and the author of the new book, Hacking Life, Systematized Living and Its Discontents. Here's what he told us when I asked him, what are the biggest drawbacks to life hacking? What does optimization come at the cost of?
Well, I think there's two big things we might be sacrificing. One is as a type of self-help that's very individualistic. I liken life hacking to donning a set of blinkers like we put on horses. So you put the blinkers on the racehorses so they look afar and they can see that finish line and they can race towards that finish line and beat all their competitors. And in a world where we have pervasive distractions, right? You go on your computer, you have to do your work, but social media is there, the apps are there, messaging is distracting you. It makes sense to don those blinkers. Or if you're a workhorse, you want to get out all the distractions that are bothering you. But the risk is that if you're also an optimizing sort, that you might be approaching the edge of a ledge and not really appreciate how far you are to falling off. Or maybe you're really not appreciating the people on your periphery who you're trotting underfoot or bumping aside. So I think there's risks both to the individual life hacker by way of optimization, because maybe you optimize the wrong thing or you optimize it too long, or by optimizing one thing, you're ignoring everything else in your life. And then, when you're doing this in a selfish sort of way, I think there's a lot of cases where, for instance, let me give you an example. One of the folks I talk about went about hacking her dating life, and she came up with a spreadsheet that she put on Google and shared with other people to use. And she came up with a number of attributes that she could rate men on for her dating. And she had deal breakers, which means she would never date men that had those qualities and attributes. But she ended up getting with someone who had 6 of her deal breaking attributes. And she realized that a relationship, there's give and take, there's negotiation, there's discussion. And when life hackers, particularly the quantifying optimizing type, approach a problem, they think of it as like a computer problem, like finding someone to date is a search problem. So there are hackers that have gone on hundreds of dates in a couple of months looking for that perfect person. And maybe there really is no perfect person out there waiting for you. There are candidates, and many of them could be really good for you if you do the work with them. So sometimes it's just a problem of misconceiving what the problem is, especially if you approach it as a solution that needs to be optimized.